Hey guys, good morning. It's Mike Chen here on a typical rainy day in Seattle. I just want to mention that the first part of this video was filmed when I went to Cabbage Island for their amazing lobster feast. And then now I'm in Seattle to go back to one of my favorite Vietnamese pho restaurants to try out their new restaurant concept, The Boat, that's supposed to have some amazing fried chicken and waffles. And then going to a Japanese soba restaurant where all the noodles are made fresh daily by hand. And before getting to that, I just want to give a big thank you and shout out to the sponsor of this video, Raycon. Raycon's been my favorite earbuds for years now, and these are the everyday earbuds. Now, there are many reasons I love Raycons. My ears shape kind of funky, so earbuds always fall out of it. Never happened with Raycons. I go to the gym or for a run pretty much every single day. I've never fallen out once. And that's because they have these optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. Never had earbuds fit so well before. I think I mentioned this in a past video. I used to have earbuds that cost 2 or 3 times as much. Fell out all the time. These never do. Also, they offer 8 hours of playtime, 32 hours of battery life, and you're getting quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. I keep one pair in my backpack as a backup. They're great at blocking out background noise, or if you want to keep track of what's going on around you, you can go to awareness mode with a touch of a button. They're so easy to operate. You can easily switch between music tracks, take a call. Whatever you're listening to automatically stops when you take them out, then resumes with a tap when you put them back in. I also got these for my family members. They love them. They got them in all sorts of different colors and styles. If you are looking for a new pair of earbuds, try these. You won't be disappointed. So if you do want to give them a try, click on the link in my description box or go to buyraycon.com/MikeyChan for 15% off your Raycon purchase and free shipping. Hey guys, good morning. It's Mike Chen here in Booth Harbor, Maine. And today I'm about to jump on a boat to Cabbage Island where a lobster feast awaits me. Welcome to Cabbage Island. That looks like where they're having the clam bake right there. So when you arrive on the island, you see the clam bake and the tables are facing the water. Beautiful.
This is actually my new 5 to 30-gallon saltwater pan. At the very bottom, there's potatoes wrapped in tin foil, and the corn is in a ring around the sides. It's covered with a thick layer of seaweed, which helps to insulate and also flavor the food. The iodine in it will drip down through, give it sort of a sweet and salty flavor. And those 2 trays have all the lobsters and the clams. Clams are in 1-pound tin foil packets and stacked up around the sides, sort of like a brick wall kind of fashion. So the lobsters and the clams will take about 45 to 50 minutes. All the vegetables will take about 1 hour and 45 minutes total. Potatoes will take about 45 minutes longer.
So this place is pretty incredible. There's 3 giant pots of food cooking when we arrived in. The first pot has corn, onions, potatoes, clams, and then the other 2, all lobster, and they cook it with seaweed. So the iodine dripping from the seaweed naturally flavors the lobster and the shellfish and the vegetables. So everything's steamed, nothing's boiled. Pretty amazing to see. First thing though, fish chowder. Fish chowder, giant chunks of potatoes, flaky white fish. Looks like cod. To be honest, I need some salt. It's definitely more of a watery, soupy chowder. Yeah, have some salt, much better. Mushy potatoes, fish is flaky and tender, not too bad. Got my tray of lobster. It smells so good. So on this tray, you get 2 lobster. Probably looks like a pound and a half lobster. 1 whole corn, potatoes, eggs, whole onion, and steamed clams. They did give you a little cup of water and some butter. This is not to drink, this is just to rinse the clam out if you wanted to. And again, everything is steamed, wrapped in seaweed. Wow, that's a sweet onion. And they put an egg in there so they actually know when the lobsters are done. So when the eggs are done, the lobsters are done. Inside the foil, you get a dozen steamer clams. Dunk these in a little bit of butter. So sweet and buttery. I would recommend rinsing these out a little bit because they are mud clams, so they do get a little sandy. Much better. These are really, really, really buttery clams. You also get a potato, slice that open, pour some butter
all over that. Sweet pop is super juicy. Everything so far, you're tasting a lot of the natural flavors of the ingredients, and it tastes so good. Get to the lobster and break off that scrumptious lobster tail. That is as fresh as you will ever get. So how they work is that you place your order while you're waiting in line, and as soon as the order is placed, your lobster is basically picked out fresh and brought to the island. And the lobsters are cooked for about 45 minutes. The vegetables cook for about 1 hour and 15. Again, wrapped in the seaweed, so it's steamed perfectly, and that slight brininess from the seaweed also flavors the lobster, the vegetables a little bit. So every time you're biting into a sweet vegetable with a sweet lobster, you're getting a tiny, tiny hint of fragrance and umami. And I don't think you're gonna find juicier steamed vegetables or lobster anywhere. I mean, everything, the onions, the corn, every time you take a bite, it's just a burst of juice. And don't forget to eat the insides of the lobster. That stuff right here, that is pure steamed lobster flavor. You can dunk it in a little butter. Oh, that's so good. I said this before, as much as I love the lobster meat, the lobster tail, the claw, everything, that's the best tasting part of lobster. It's just basically pure creamy flavor. And what you can do, you can put it on your potatoes. Now your potato is much better. You can put it on the lobster meat itself, then dunk that in some butter. Pure umami mixed with that natural sweet lobster meat. This is not just a lobster meal. This is a pure lobster experience. Now look at the size of this steamer. Sitting here eating lobsters, looking out over the ocean. This is a bucket list kind of meal. And at the end of the meal, a ginormous piece of blueberry cake. This is a delicious piece of blueberry cake. Toasty caramelized crust and really pillowy in the middle and chock full of blueberries. This has been one heck of a lobster meal. That was definitely the best lobster bake I've ever been to. Well, it's the only lobster bake I've ever been to, but I doubt anything's gonna top that. The sweetest, juiciest lobster and vegetables. You can taste that subtle smoke in each bite, and also just being here and eating that makes it taste even better. And a big shout out to my buddy Mark who turned me onto this place. Again, like I said, bucket list food experience. Hey guys, Mike Chen here in Seattle at a familiar location. This was my favorite pho place when I used to live in Seattle. But today, I'm not here for this. Right across from the parking lot, this used to be an empty building. It's shaped like a boat. But now, Pho Bac has turned this into a restaurant on its own. And inside, supposed to be some of the best chicken and waffles maybe ever. Let's go check out the boat. So this place is pretty incredible. I got the garlic fried chicken dry egg noodles. This chicken is half a Cornish hen deep fried with garlic crisps on top. And look at how juicy this is. Cut it apart. Look at all that glistening meat. So this place, they really only sell a couple dishes. It's either the chicken or the waffles, or you get them both. And the chicken, you will either come with rice or noodles or salad. Of course, I got the noodles, and these are dry rice noodle with a little quail egg and a fried egg on top. But this is what everyone is here for, the fried chicken. Wow. This is uber tender chicken, just beautifully fried. Slightly crunchy skin, and that sweet glaze is balanced out beautifully by the crispy garlic on the outside. Every single bite, pure juice, and just a dynamite garlic flavor. And you chase that with their famous pho broth. I haven't had this for years. Still as good as I remember. Noodles look just as appetizing. Fried egg noodles, little bits of fried onions with herbs inside. There's some sort of rich gravy on the outside of this. Plenty of veg, a little cabbage on the bottom as well, little bits of meat. Wow, noodles are as good as the chicken. Rich, thick, umami-filled gravy and creaminess is just accentuated from the eggs. Egg noodles are so chewy, got a little refreshing crunch from the cabbage and the greens. Wow, these noodles are absolutely spectacular. Trace it with some of the fried chicken. Oh, that was so melty. That was a piece of chicken butt. And the chilies they provide you at the table, this will light you up. It will definitely heat up your egg noodles. There's crunch coming from the crispy onions inside. And so much richness and flavor from the gravy covering the noodles. I don't know which one is better, the chicken or the noodles. Also, the rice they serve is a pandan rice, which I hear is pretty darn good as well, but I am very, very happy with my choice of dry noodles here. Finish everything with a sip of their magical pho broth. They really turned this old house into such a magical food place. 100% come and try this. Waffles have arrived. On top is pandan waffles. On the bottom is banana waffles. And this foamy thing here, so it's like a whipped coconut cloud. You just add the whipped coconut to the waffles. Oh, just from the fork going in, I can tell how light this waffle is. This waffle is absolutely ridiculous. The waffle itself might just be lighter than the cream. These might just be the most magical waffles ever made. I mean, I can tell you, but you really gotta taste it for yourself to believe how light this is. And the outside is just so toasty. The coconut cream is just the most perfect complement to these waffles with a little nuts and sesame inside for some added fragrance, a little sweet and salty. Banana waffles, just as like. Now, add the chicken to the waffles. That's just the most perfect sweet and savory pairing of in all the land of chicken and waffles. Like I said, the chicken is juicy and light. The skin's got that beautiful subtle crunch to it. There's that beautiful sweet glaze and the garlic. There's not many things in the food kingdom that goes better than this. You gotta get the waffles if you're here. I mean, get the chicken definitely. I think the waffles is my favorite thing today. These waffles are absolutely mind-blowing. Even if you don't like waffles, you'll probably fall in love with this. Next up, this is a really cool soba place. It's a little soba joint where all the noodles are made fresh every single day. And I got to witness the noodle making process. Chef Soma makes all the noodles fresh from scratch every single day. And there's so much effort that goes into making the noodles. And starting off the meal, a mush bush of dashi and sancho chili oil. Wow, the dashi is so good. And the oil just kind of coats your lips like a silky, umami-filled lip balm. Delicious. So I got a couple different sobas to try and also some appetizers. So it's Pho Bac tofu with little shrimp, wasabi, radish greens, and it's sitting in a cup of dashi. So I'm gonna try this first. Wow. The Pho Bac tofu is just incredible. The texture is rich and creamy, almost like a tofu pudding. It's so velvety. Oh my gosh, the shrimp is so sweet. And the dashi just adds that added depth and umami. A little refreshing crunch from the radish. They have tempura on the menu too, and this is an eggplant tempura with looks like bonito flakes, some grated radish with purple daikon on top, and all sitting again in dashi. Wow, underneath the eggplants, shantoro mushrooms. That's out of this world. Perfectly made tempura, slight crunch on the outside. Mushrooms are earthy and rustic, again with that great umami from the dashi. Eggplant is really smoky and juicy. There's some slices of radish in here as well. This thing is crunchy, it's chewy, it's savory, it's a little sweet from the eggplant. It's rustic and earthy. This is an absolutely incredible dish. If you love eggplant, try this. And this dish is a coffee marinated salmon tartare with pork floss on top and chive sour cream on the side. So all these dishes, they're so innovative. Wow. The salmon and the pork floss, sweet and savory. It's refreshing, it's chewy with that beautiful creaminess from the sour cream. Salmon just melts in your mouth. The pork floss also does too, but leaves this really nice porky, savory, sweet flavor. That works very well with the salmon. The sour cream really shines in this dish as well. The soba is here and it looks so pretty. My favorite is always gonna be tenzaru, which is just cold dipped in soba. This is what I feel is the best way to eat soba noodles and really appreciate that texture and wheat flavor. And to dip the noodles in, there's some zaru broth, some daikons. So put the daikons inside, wasabi, scallions, mix that around, and dip the noodles inside. It's like I'm in Japan. Unbelievable texture in these noodles. It's incredible to watch chef work. The fact that every strand, this thing looks like it came out of a machine, but of course all cut by hand. It's so uniform and beautiful. The texture is wonderfully chewy and al dente. The sauce is a savory blend of dashi, and you can taste the soy sauce and the mirin. And so it has this subtly sweet, savory flavor. And when you dip the noodles inside and give that a slurp, the flavors are so harmonious with a satisfying contrast of textures between the chewy noodles and the dipping broth. And then you have the tempura. Dip that into the tempura sauce. This is absolutely perfectly made with that wonderful crunch on the outside. Smoky shishito peppers with some nice amount of heat. This is one of the most wonderful plated of soba ever. I got a second serving of soba, this time with duck breast, duck meatball, yuzu, and duck broth. Again, everything made in-house, including the meatball. Dunk the noodles in. Oh my gosh. The duck is amazing, really fatty and tender. The dipping sauce is so rich and savory. Oh, the meatball is really, really bouncy too. And the noodles grab onto that broth very, very well. This thing just falls apart in your mouth. Savory, peppery, beautiful, umami-filled aftertaste. Two completely different soba meals, both with their own unique textures and flavors, and they both highlight how amazingly delicious the soba noodles are. You want an authentic, real taste of Japan? Come here and get this. As good as it's gonna get when it comes to soba. Afterwards, they give you some broth to pour into the dipping broth, just to dilute it so you can drink it. Perfect way to finish this meal. Of course, all the places I went to listed down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again, see you later.